Everybody wants to race me in a straight line. I have never had that problem in a Porsche or a McLaren, but I mean, it's a good looking car, I'll be honest with you. Hi, my name's Jason Woods and welcome to Chasing the Apex. Behind me, I have a 2021 Toyota Supra. And there's a lot going on in this car, and it's fabulous, and it's fabulous. So this shot is specifically for Pat and Alana at Pat's Garage Online. Yeah, you asked about the trunk space. It's more than sufficient.
Hi, my name's Jason Woods and welcome back to Chasing the Apex. So I'm in a 2021 Toyota Supra GR. So that's about 382 horsepower, fucking tons. You know what I mean? And 362 foot-pounds of torque. And it looks like an itty bitty car. It's got these little beautiful lines to it, but she ain't. Now this was designed in conjunction with BMW. And it feels very BMW-esque. So, and I want to talk about that a little bit. When I get in here, I love BMWs, by the way. I just think they are really, really, really well put together driver's cars. When I get in here, that's very familiar. It feels very BMW-esque until I get in the art and lines of the outside of it. I really think they did a wonderful job here. But you know what? Let's go driver, because that's where it matters, right? You know, I can take it down the freeway, and I did when on the way here, and I'll be honest with you, I swear, man, it's like every dude in something wanted to race me in a straight line. But we all know here on Chasing the Apex, anybody can go fast in a straight line, so we don't do that. But I've never had anybody do that to me in my McLaren or my GT4, so that was unique, but definitely draws a lot of attention. Externally, she looks yellow, but there's more of an orange going on here, a mac and cheese orange, as Alana from Pat's Garage Online had noted. And but enough talk about that, right? I got the specs out of the way, but we drive here, so let's go drive. So thanks again to YC Auto Group for giving us another dope car to review and go vlog. So let's get this out of the way. It feels very BMW-esque, you know, and immediately I'm going to put it into sport because that's where I like it. Now, it's far faster than I would anticipate, and it's far more stable for a front engine car than I would have guessed. Now, having said that, let's get this out of the way. In the sports mode, it's got like all these different sports displays, which are really, really cool. And I love the HUD. I love HUDs because it allows me to not look at anything but the road ahead of me. And so I love that. Now, there's something I don't like though, and I'm sure I can turn it off. I just don't know how, and I'd need a little more time in the car. And that's some of the driver's aids. I do not like the lane change assistance because I feel like it throws me back into a lane. So I can't really draw my own line with that on, you know, and there's some art to drawing your own line that I feel is lost with those driver aids on, you know, and I'm going to describe that as I put her through some turns. Now, when I say that, I took her for a test run earlier, and I'm an early Apex kind of guy by nature, and there's some art to that. Let's pick up some speed here. Let's put her in her first corner. And where I want to throw her in, it overcorrects for me. It almost forces me to late Apex. So if you have an early Apex problem, you know what I mean, and you don't like maximum lateral G's at Apex, this solves that problem. However, I like maximum lateral G's because it allows me to carry the momentum to the next turn, through that Apex into that drive. So if there's one thing I don't like about it, it's I don't know how to turn it off, but I'm sure it can be. Outside of that, my road impressions, it's fast and it's stable and it's nimble, and I like all of that. And I think these go for about 60 grand, 65, 70 grand or something. And it's it's every bit worth it, you know, and they got such a sleek look to them. But more importantly, when I get on the gas, you know, and I'm pushing the next straight, I've got to watch my speed very closely, because I'm already doing something like 90 miles an hour and I'm not even trying, right? This road, it has a lot of camber change. It has a lot of elevation change, and that's, I think, the perfect place to test this car. You know, actually, I think this is the perfect place to test any car, unless you're commuting. And frankly, I think this is pretty phenomenal, and I'm digging it. Mid-corner, it's very stable. It's actually so stable, I don't know where I'm at in the power band, and that wigs me out a little bit too. Now, once I start to use the paddle shifters are really, really, really good. Now, there we go. Now she's doing what I want her to do. But she shifts so fast and automatic. You know, she's in like 8th gear when I want to be in 4th. And I wish there was a way I could change that. If there was a way I could change that somehow, I think that this would almost be the perfect car. I think the problem here is many manufacturers are way too nanny focused. So I'm going to throw this in on this long sweeper here, and she's going to see she's forcing me to apex late, and that bothers me. You know, it doesn't bother me because that's the wrong time, because what you should do is you should count your entry 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 based on your instinct to turn in. It bothers me that it's doing it for me and then forces me on the line it wants me to be on. That's a little jarring and not something I expected. But here's where it shines. Where it shines is anybody can get in this car and move a quick bit. Not all cars are like that. In this car, I can put just about anybody in it, and they're gonna move pretty quickly. You know, on a twisty set of road or track, they're gonna be able to perform. And I think Toyota and BMW captured that spectacularly. And I don't know anybody else that has. So kudos to them, because you're gonna be able to do things that you may not be accustomed to or didn't know you could do. Now, I like the steering wheel, but it took a little while to grow on me. It kind of feels sedan-ish, but it's got a good shape to it. I can dance around it a little bit, even though in sport there's a very little input needed. So, but I don't necessarily like it in the comfort mode. So unless I was commuting hundreds of miles, I wouldn't want that at all. I'd just get rid of the comfort mode. That's what we should have done. We should have just went with the sport mode and stayed on the sport mode. Okay, so final thoughts as I throw her into her last corners and I return her. There, you guys hear me say this. I love all cars. You know, everything from the seating position in this. I love the seats. I love the bolstering. They're just so comfortable. I love the way everything's right in front of you, and you know what you're doing as soon as you get it. You can mate with this car very well. And when I say mate, there's a connection between the driver and the car and the road that's something you really want as a driver. And this car really mates well, and I think it would mate well with anybody. And you hear me say this all the time, you know, I love them all, but I really, really like this, guys. I mean, she's pretty. She's pretty, she's sexy. I'll even put up with the yellow because it's kind of orange, and I like it. And I love it in manual. I love the paddle shifters and how they shift. I love how stable she is mid-corner. I love how she can drive to the next corner. And if I was the owner, I would just figure out a way to turn off this like lane assist nanny stuff, because it's absolutely brilliant. So thanks for watching Chasing the Apex, and we will see you soon. And the reality is I love you guys, and I really appreciate you guys watching and taking your time here. And I love when you guys share stuff with me and we can put it up, because it's not my channel, it's your channel. There's nobody here trying to make money. And every view, every like, every subscribe, and people that return and those that engage, it's really nice that you guys are turning this into a community. And I hope you find your home here. About the hats. About the hats. Let's talk about the hats a little bit. The reason I wear hats is because I'm bald. So when it's hot or when it's cold, I don't want to sunburn, and I'd rather not have hypothermia.